Welcome back to Martin's Vinyl. I'm back on the south coast of the UK. I've come home and let me tell you about my experience at Amoeba in Los Angeles, Hollywood. I brought some records back with me, which I'm going to get to very shortly, but let me tell you about my experience in Amoeba. There are thousands of records for you to explore. You don't know where to start, begin. It's completely overwhelming. You start digging, but you're so distracted by what's going on around you. There's shelves of records, eye level, that you're constantly looking at. There's records on the wall. It took me a good hour, at least, to comprehend what I was looking at, because I was very excited to be there. So it took me a while to calm down and really comprehend what I was looking at. I didn't film any of that footage you saw at the beginning. Actually, it was my wife and daughter was taking the footage for me, because I was having such a great time digging that I actually forgot to take any footage. So luckily my wife and my daughter did it for me. But there is a downside to this shop in Los Angeles, Hollywood. It's very overwhelming and exciting, but there are certainly some negatives about this particular record shop. I can't say about all Amoeba stores in the States, but this one in Los Angeles, there's some downsides, which I want to tell you about now. You can't look at the record. If you're looking at a pre-owned record, because I like my pre-owned records, it's going to be sealed. They seal them themselves. It's not like a brand new record seal, factory seal record. They seal it themselves. So you can't see the quality of the record. You can't see what label it's on. You can't see if it's a first press or a reissue. There's no label on the sleeve that they've sealed to tell you otherwise. There are ones that aren't sealed, but those are the really cheap records, and some of the more expensive ones that are on the wall, there's just some written Sharpie notes on the cover to tell you a bit more about it, but that's it. I've got some examples, which I'll get to use shortly. You can only see what the record's like is when you take it to the till, and they open it there in front for you. I had a massive stack, which I was hoping to bring home with me. But I think I sent about 2/3 back. I had 15 records on the till, but I've only brought 5 back with me. Because when they do open them up and you do have a look and you realise, oh, it's not the pressing it's on and it's not a good clean copy, I've sent them back because I don't want an under VG copy or the label it's not on, because I like my first presses. So I sent back 10 back. All of this is done for good reason. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This is LA. It's not a nice area. There's lots of security when you go into the store and when you leave the building. But apart from that, it's a record digger's paradise. Also worth mentioning is finding a particular record that you're after is quite difficult. I had this mental list of mine of US first pressings that I was desperate to have in my collection. And after desperately trying to find those records, after a couple hours, I gave in and asked a staff member if they had them in stock, and all I got back was a shrug. They did explain to me in the pre-owned record section, records come and go so fast, so quickly, that it's hard to say what's in stock. And apart from blues records, jazz records, and hard, heavy metal records, those ones are in their own section. Everything else is A to Z. So if you are looking for blues rock, prog rock, psych rock, kraut rock, it's all going to be in the same section. And that section isn't organised very well. It is A to Z. But for example, if you were trying to find a Michael Jackson record, it could be under M, it could be under J. Same with Michael Bublé. It could be under M, it could be under B. And also, if you had a band like The Beatles, it could be under B, it could be under T. So it's a bit frustrating if you're after a particular record that you have to run and check both sides of it. But all that being said, I would still go back. I had a great time. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I got a great selection of records I want to show you now, but I could go back again and again and again and keep coming out with a different selection of records. I just wish a store like this existed in the UK. Alright, that was my experience. Now let's do what's in my bag. Hopefully I don't get done for copyright. Okay guys, the first record I want to show you is one I'm probably most excited to share with you guys, because when I walked in the store, this is the first record that I kind of clocked in on, zoned in on, and I was kind of distracted afterwards, and when I was digging through everything else, because I couldn't focus until I had this record in my possession. My goal was, when I went to Amoeba, is to find some first US pressings to bring home with me, but this band is from the UK, and I really wanted to get my hands on the first UK press, and I did. I brought this one all the way back home with me. Now, this is Tear Gas from 1970. This is the debut album from 1970, a Scottish hard rock band. Now, as I was saying, they did write a bit of information on the sleeve. This is on the sleeve, not on the actual record itself. That's pretty much the amount of information you're going to get from them. Anything cheaper that's in the boxes, you're not going to get any information. Debut album from 1970 from a Scottish hard rock band. Got my hands on the first UK press. I'm always about getting my hands on from where the band is from. US copies did come out a couple of years later, but so much cheaper compared to the first UK press. Now this one is an almost near mint condition. I've come across a couple in the past, but always been in bad condition. It's extremely hard to find this one in really good condition. And I found a copy which is almost near mint. This thing is incredible. Look at the shine and the gloss on that. It sounds amazing as well. If you don't know who Tear Gas band are, like I said, they're a Scottish band. This is their title. They have a follow-up album just entitled Tear Gas. That one is equally as good, but a lot more on the heavy rock guitar side, which is still very high on my want list. This one's a lot more on the softer side. If you're a big fan of the sensational Alex Harvey band, then this is a must-have, as the band joined Alex Harvey to be the sensational band. Sal Clemenson, the guitar player, another hugely underrated guitar player from the 70s. He was playing just as well before joining Alex Harvey. Amazing guitar player. Fans of Alex Harvey, Nazareth will enjoy this. It has a progressive side, it has a blues side, it has a soft rock side. Something in there for everyone. Some really good guitar solos, some great drum breaks as well. Yeah, you'll enjoy this. Such a good record. Right, this next record I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to need some help with. This is one I did pick up. My first US pressing I did pick up at Amoeba. Now, if you're an avid vinyl community watcher like me, this record comes up a lot, especially when people in the vinyl community are talking about this and talking about some cheap heat. This one is always mentioned. This is an incredible hard rock, psychedelic rock band from the late 60s that costs hardly anything. You probably get copies for $10 over there. You can't get this one in the UK, but I wanted a copy from where the band is from. It's kind of my thing. This band is from Detroit, Michigan, on the Vanguard label. What makes this copy so special, though, is that this bad boy is still sealed. This is The Frost, and the name of the album is Frost Music. Still sealed, not by Amoeba. This is still factory sealed from release, as no one has ever opened it or ever played it. Now, this is a hard thing to come by. It's a very cheap record, but to find a still sealed record is extremely hard to find. Highly rated in the vinyl community, this record. Now, the question I put forth to you guys, do I open it? I'm leaning towards opening it because I want to listen to it. I've listened to it many times before via streaming, but as we all know, listening it on vinyl is the best way to listen to music. I don't know. Let me know what you guys would do with a still sealed record from 1969, because there can't be many copies like this anymore. So once I open it, it'll be one less out there. I don't know. You guys tell me. But worth noting on this album is another hugely underrated guitar player, Dick Wagner, who went on to play with the likes of Lou Reed and Alice Cooper and Peter Gabriel. These guys shared the stage with MC5 and the Stooges. They've always been noted as an incredible live band. I cannot help but wonder with Dick Wagner at the helm, how this band would have done with a better label handling them, because they were an incredible band, but hugely underrated band. They are more on the heavy rock metal side, but I do have acoustic moments, like very reminiscent of Led Zeppelin. So everything I've just mentioned, if you like your hard rock, your psychedelic rock, metal acid fuzz album, it's all in there, which I absolutely adore. I love this album, so I'm very leaning towards opening it and listening to it, because I do love it that much. Let me know what you think in the comments, and then I'll probably post a quick shot of me opening it and tell you what's inside and how it is. So, the Frost Music from 1969, still sealed. Beautiful. Hi guys, next up I've got Bertha from 1970. I went to California and I really wanted to pick up a record from a local band, which I did. I managed to find this one. This is Bertha from 1970. Excellent country folk psych rock. Now, I say they're a band from California, and please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments section, because information about this band is very vague. Some of the resources say they're a band from New York, and some say they're a band from California. I think they're a band from California, but they went to become session musicians in New York, which I think is where the confusion lies. They actually got this cover art on the Tiffany record label. It's the first US press, but they also had another album cover, a different one, which was black and yellow and a cathedral on the front. Also a first US press. It just depended on where you picked up your first copy from in the country. Again, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they're all first US presses. I say they're a band from California and they played in New York. Either way, they don't sound like anything from those two places. This is very southern US rock with some very heavy gospel influences. Very, very similar to the Allman Brothers. They also sound like a bit like a Creedence Clearwater Revival. The bass player was actually the original bassist for Creedence Clearwater. I don't think this would be everyone's cup of tea. The band is often described as a blue-eyed or white boy soul with some funky, with strong influences of country. Worth noting, the album has strong ties with the musician Dr. John, who plays keyboards on the record on a few tracks. A good, well-played album, but not necessarily needed in your collection, unless you're a die-hard addict of the era and fans of Allman Brothers and Creedence Clearwater Revival. You'll definitely enjoy that. I said they became session musicians. All of the band went on to play with some of the greats. The drummer, Rick Marotta, if I'm saying his name right, he played with some of the top artists. He played with John Lennon, Aretha Franklin, Stevie Nicks, and Steely Dan. The lead singer and guitar player, Tom Cosgrove, played with Al Cooper. The bassist, Stu Woods, like I said, was in Creedence, played with Barry Manilow. The other keyboardist, Mike Garson, he played with David Bowie and Smashing Pumpkins. So, lots of talent on this album, so check them out. Alright, the next couple of records I want to show you are reissues. I never pick up reissues, but I could not resist picking these ones up. I'm a first press collector, and bringing a reissue home is a strange thing for me to do. But I just talked about a local band to California, and the next record I'm going to show you is a local band to me. If you're familiar with my channel, I've gone down a complete rabbit hole of local talent, which I've been completely blown away with recently. Some really good stuff on my doorstep, and this one's no different. This is Baby Bertha from 1970. Yes, this is reissue, and I'm more than happy with that because I would never own an original. Like I said, this is an impossible to find private psychedelic hard rock album. These guys also have another record with a different name. The name of the band at the time was called Charge. Exactly the same band, but they changed their name to Charge. Both those albums, only 50 of each, were ever pressed and sent to record companies in the hopes to get signed, but they never were. And a few other copies were handed out to friends and family. These guys were heavily influenced by the likes of Hendrix, Cream, Free, Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac. And like I said, they got two albums. This one's on the lot more bluesy, heavier side. The other one, Charge, is a lot more on the hard rock side. Great unrestrained guitar. Some progressive touches in there as well. Like I said, I'm talking about both the albums, not just this one. You can buy reissues quite easily. This one a lot more easier than the other one. I'm sure I'm going to pick up the other one soon. I say they're local to me. They're a band from Hampshire in Fareham, which is situated between Southampton and Portsmouth. They did play locally at the time and were getting some recognition on the local scene, but one of the members died to a severe heavy asthma attack, and the other two members of the band, it's only a three-piece band, the other two members didn't want to carry on. Originals of this are extremely rare and never been sold in Discogs, but privately they have been sold for thousands and thousands online privately. This is the inner sleeve of this record, but this is what the record that they were handing out to record stores, record labels. You can see it's empty, but that's the label it was on, the SRT record label. Very hard to find, not many made, and very expensive if you do. But that is a mind-blowing album, great stuff. Okay guys, the last record I want to leave you with is a record that I'm slightly gutted about, but also quite happy I brought this one home. This is Dust Heart Attack from 1972. I made a video a couple of years ago about my top 10 most wanted records, and this one was in there. So as soon as I ran into Amoeba, this one was very high on my radar, and I found this one pretty much straight away because that's what I went for. And I pulled it out, but like I said, it's all sealed. That's when I realised I couldn't get into the record and have a look. So it looked promising from the front and back. It looked like a first pressing. But of course, when I took it up to the till, they popped it open for me, and I realised it wasn't. It was a very, very early reissue. And, oh, let me tell you about, yeah, these are the outer sleeves that they put them in. So as you can see the slip there, that's all sealed. You can't get into it that way to have a look. It's only when you went to the till and they ripped it open for you to have a look. That's when I realised it wasn't original. This is a very early reissue on the blue Kama Sutra label. I want one on the pink Kama Sutra label. That's how you know you got a first US pressing. I really enjoyed Dust. I have their debut album. I have a first US press and a first UK press in my collection because I really like the band. I'm not going to pull them out for you now. I'll stick a photo up. Yeah, if you don't know who they are, they're a killer hard rock trio from the early 70s. If you're big fans of hard rock and proto-metal, you're going to enjoy this. If you love Sabbath, Thin Lizzy, Uriah Heep, Pentagram, you'll be pleasantly surprised by this. In addition, there were a few hard rock bands that didn't suck at ballads. They also came to fame as the drummer Mark Bell, aka Marky Ramone, was the Dust drummer before joining the Ramones. I really want a first US press, but I'm not going to pay the huge postage fees to get it. It's not that expensive, this record. It's a bit more expensive than most, but I'm not going to pay the huge postage fee and VAT, otherwise it will be expensive. Anyway, that's what I'm going to leave you with. I hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like and subscribe because I've got some more content coming out very, very soon. I hope you enjoyed this. Like and subscribe. Thank you.